Hi Stampin' friends, today I'm going to show you a double Z card made with the Dress to Impress set. I will have used almost every stamp set in this except for a couple of these little splotches by the time we're finished tonight on This Is for a Bunny Bash, a Facebook party that I had, and I hope everyone will enjoy it. I'm going to start out by stamping a few things. And I have my Stamparatus out, and on one side I put my little smudge like it was done with a bit of lipstick, and I'm using the Lovely Lipstick ink pad to make my little smudge. So done that. I'm gonna put it here, and if it isn't dark enough the first time, I can try to do it again. Let's see, I don't like how it just smudges almost away there, so I'm going to put a little bit more ink. Let's see how that works. Let's see. Maybe one more time. I'm kind of silly about this. That's the good thing about the Stamparatus. If I had just stamped this using a block, I wouldn't be able to try to get it darker and darker and darker as I went along. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to stamp this that says, "Be as bold as your lipstick." So I'm stamping that right here, pressing down right there. So there we go, and I'm hoping that is not a smudge, it's just a, yeah, just a little bit of something. Okay, so now I have this finished. One thing I wanted to also show you was how I colored the lipsticks. You just stamp those also in Memento because I'm going to color them. It actually wasn't a problem. I actually did not just color with blends. I also used, let's see, here we go. There we are. I used the Lovely Lipstick blend to do the lipstick itself, and then after I colored that in, I went back with the dark Lovely Lipstick, and I just kind of went over places that I thought might have some shadow. So there's kind of a trace around that, maybe back there, so that I leave a little bit of like a shine on the front. And then I used the light smoky slate for this part as if it was the silver tube that generally comes with, comes inside a lot of lipstick containers, like this. There we are. And then if you want to put a little bit of shadowing from another darker color, you can use the dark smoky slate, but I just kind of did all my shadowing with several layers of the light smoky slate. Okay, so now that that's finished, I wanted to show you how I colored the other part. Because this paper, let me show you some of the paper. The paper right here has Blushing Bride as one of the colors, and I didn't have a Blushing Bride blend. I used, my goodness, I was not thinking there. There we go. I used a little bit of the ink in the lid, and I actually used the Wink of Stella because it lets me go ahead and put sparkle on it that I'm going to put anyway. And I just kind of liked how much fun it was to use that. So that's one thing that I should have mentioned to those of you that have kits for tonight, that yeah, you will want your own Wink of Stella, and you will also want rhinestone bling. I did not think about that, the basic rhinestone jewels, whatever. I didn't think about it. I should have told you that, and I should have let you know that that was coming up. But so anyways, that's how I colored this to make it match. And then I went ahead and up on the top around the lipstick, I put a little more, like it was kind of shiny lipstick. And then I went ahead in this little bit of Lovely lipstick up in here, and I put some shimmers up through there. You don't want to get probably off very much, and it will darken actually the color of the Lovely lipstick stamping that you've done. So there's that. I'm just going to clean that off. I don't want to put it up like this because it does still have some pink in it. Just kind of want to clean it off a little bit. So I'm finished with that. And then I'm going to set these aside. And of course set this aside. Don't want to get that on anything. And this is where we're working on the card. So let me tell you a few things about how the card is done. The base layer is a regular 4 1/4 by 11 inch sheet. It has been scored at 5 1/2, which is half of 11, and it was scored again at 2 3/4, which is half of the 5 1/2. Then I made the layers on this big sheet, which, you know, your first layer smaller is your 4 by 5 1/4, and your next layer is 3 3/4 by 5. And then the same thing here, 1/4 inch smaller, 1/4 inch smaller. So of course, I will tell you that the green, which is Old Olive, is 2 1/2 wide by 4 inches tall, of course, still the same distance across. And the next one is 2 1/4 by the 3 3/4, just, you know, the same tallness as this sheet. Okay, so then for my other one, it is 3 inches tall, and then it has it's 9 inches long instead of 11, and it is scored at 4 1/2, and then again at 6 3/4. Or you could say that you scored it back here, you know, it's kind of just however you want to say it, at 2 1/4, because basically it's 4 1/2 and half is 2 1/4. Okay, so then it's the same thing with these layers. This one is 2 3/4 tall, and then it is 4 1/4 long this way. Same with this one. It's 1/4 inch smaller, of course, and it is 4 inches by 2 1/2. So then these are still the same height as the others, and on width, the green is 2 inches, and the pattern paper is 1 3/4. So what I did on this, I wanted to use the papers that had the Lovely lipstick on them, and there weren't too terribly many that were floral. Now let me tell you how I was deciding what to use on this. This is a very pretty paper, but it's not quite as tropical as these look. So I kind of like the tropical kind of look. This is more kind of a little bit of a tea party, whereas this is more of a tropical. So now what I'm gonna do is just, I've adhered these on just to save time ahead so that we don't have to sit here and watch me do this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Old Olive onto the Lovely lipstick. See how I like that? And then I'm going to put the Whisper White image layer with our Be As Bold As Your lipstick on here. Let's see if I want to scooch that a little. I think I do. So now I can, that's the good thing about snail. I can usually get it, you know, as long as it hasn't been too long, I can usually pick it back up and try one more time, which I really like to do. Okay. And then I put 2 regular dimensionals and then 1 mini dimensional under this. And I'm gonna wait and put that on last because I don't wanna have any problems. Okay, so now what we have done in the past, and I think you'll remember, is we would have a piece of paper right here, and we would open it up like this. This would be how we typically did our Z-folds, like this, kind of like just a faux gatefold almost. What this card is a double because it goes like this. So what you have to do is put your adhesive on the back of this one. Now, instead of using the snail, just because this card has a little more movement to it, I'm gonna go ahead and put some tear tape just to give it a little more strength. are. Okay, so what I want to do is hold this down, and then I want to get it where it looks like it's centered. And what I mean by centered on this is you want to make sure your folds look nice and straight, and then you want to get it the same distance from the top and the bottom on each part, and then you want to check the sides that they look like they're about the same distance. So that's kind of your main thing that you're trying to do there. And then I'm going to go scooch it down just a little bit. Okay, so then when you think you've got it looking good, you just want to smush that down. And then in order to fix this part, you want to put a couple of pieces on this side. And you want to err on the side of caution and put it a little bit further in than you necessarily need it, just so that we're certain that you get it in the right place. So there's that. And then one more here. I'll tear those off. Whew, if I can. There we go. All right. So then I just want to put it where I think it will look good. And then I'm ready to add my lipstick. So it's kind of like it's going to have been used to make this little smudge. So I just kind of put it there going off the page a little. So there's that. So it's ready. You know, if you gave it to someone, you would set it, well, let's see. How can I show you? You would set it like this. And so it would sit up like this, and they would be able to see the whole card almost at once. Okay, so then as far as embellishments go, we have the Tiny Lovely Lipstick ribbon. So I was considering, I've been trying to decide, this is some choices for you, putting a bow here of the Lovely Lipstick, or just putting a bow in here just to add a little something inside. And then it would also be really cute to just put some bling, or maybe to color our rhinestones with our blends. So there is that. Whoops, I got a tiny one and a medium one. That wasn't very talented. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to, and I should have colored them before I put them on the card, because now I'm living dangerous. So there's that. And I like the kind of the pop of color that it gives that. You could also wrap your ribbon around, you know, just to kind of be silly, you could wrap your ribbon, if that wasn't exactly where I put my, oh, it sure is, exactly where I put my dimensional, you could put a bow around this. That would be really cute. So I'm considering putting one down here in the bottom. So you can tell me if you don't like it. You could have put ribbon around anywhere here. So let's see what happens. See if we like the ribbon, and if we don't, we can always just decide not to put it on. Always an option. So there we go. All set. And I think I gave you plenty of ribbon so you can do almost anything you want on this. Here we are. I kind of like it under the sentiment. Kind of frames it or gives it a little more oomph there with the, kind of looks like it's underlining it. I have a little deal with this ribbon. I like to fluff it up, but it kind of wants to lay flat. So cut that piece right there. Then I just need a glue dot right here. And then I think I'll put it, I don't want it to cover up my sentiment at all. So scrunch it down a little bit. So there we go. And we're all finished.